Meanwhile, people in Japan's fishing industry and those on the streets are pretty happy about the result.
It is true that the Japanese consume tuna the most, but the impact of the ban, if it had passed, would not be limited only in Japan, but would be all over the tuna-related industry across the world. For us working in the industry to offer tuna to the customers, the news came as a relief.
I was glad to hear the news as I like to eat tuna. When I saw the news on TV, I said to myself, that was good.
Not everyone, though, is pleased with the decision. For more on the debate, let's go to Kyung La. She joins us now live from Tokyo. So certainly this has been a really divisive issue, Kyung, and a lot of unhappy people as well.
Certainly very divisive, but not here, at least within Japan. At this particular sushi shop, what it comes down to is it's all about the figures and the money, and specifically it's about the bluefin. This is the top of the line at Sushi Ichiban, and this is what this company says and this particular restaurant says it cannot live without, so they are very happy that this ban has failed.
In the heart of Tokyo's fish district and the tuna capital of the world, Sushi Ichiban chefs artfully and methodically slice into a gigantic Atlantic bluefin tuna imported from Spain, weighing more than the two sushi chefs combined. Tuna is Japan's most revered food, prized for its unique buttery taste. Customers eat this as fast as the chefs can slice it. Bluefin, says sushi chef Katsuya Nakanishi, is the king of fish. There is no substitute. A love shared countrywide. Japan imports 43,000 tons of bluefin tuna a year, a lucrative trade equal to more than $1 billion. That insatiable appetite, says the World Wildlife Fund, will lead to the extinction of Mediterranean bluefin by the year 2012. It's why activists lobbied for and felt a worldwide trading ban on Atlantic bluefin was within its reach this year. The ban would have essentially cut off Japan's bluefin supply and allow the bluefin population to recover. But the failure of the ban means that global trading of bluefin will continue. About 80% of the world's supply of bluefin is eaten here in Japan's sushi shops. Activists called it a disappointing day for the species and add that without an international trading ban, Japan will lead the world to eating this fish into extinction. American tourists, while impressed by Japan's fish market, say they do understand why the ban is needed.
There's so many species that are being lost every day. So, I don't know. That's my own personal belief. I don't think it has any relevance here.
No relevance to many customers who see a restriction on fish as an attack on Japanese culture. Just like the whaling issue, a bluefin ban is viewed as the West telling Japan how to eat. We Japanese don't attack what other countries eat, says Takafumi Takahashi. I don't want other countries making a fuss about our food culture as if we're committing a crime. Japan's chief negotiator promised his country would work on reducing the overall numbers of bluefin fished. Japan sees this not as just a bluefin issue, fearing what the UN group called CITES could have banned next.
Bluefin tuna listed in the CITES Appendix 1. The next is Atlantic cod and other tunas or other fish.
Back at Sushi Ichiban, the restaurant says the ban would have hurt its business as well as Japan's food security. It's unfair, says Sushi Ichiban's owner. It feels like Japan is being targeted. So the sushi chefs continue to slice the bluefin for now. Conservationists warn unless something is done to curb Japan's appetite, the day is coming soon when there won't be any more bluefin to cherish. Kyung-la, CNN, Tokyo.
And now to a man who may have had a career as a Wall Street whiz. He was working in the financial markets and made a good living in Silicon Valley, but then he gave it all up to teach people, millions of them. Dan Simon has more on the worldwide academy that fits in a closet.
Sal Khan lives in California, outside of San Francisco. Sarah Shadid, halfway around the globe in Dubai. Their lives are interconnected, but Khan doesn't know it. This is a story about how one man is helping to educate the world, but has never seen any of his students face to face.
Where does this passion come from? I think I've always enjoyed teaching.
It's about a man who gave up a lucrative career in Silicon Valley for what might look like a boring desk job.
Right now, I'm cash flow negative.
But it was never about money, and with his drive and education, Khan could have made millions. He was valedictorian of his high school with a perfect math score on the SAT. Then came MIT, Bill Clinton handing him his diploma. Next, Harvard Business School. He was lured into hedge funds and did well. But Khan, who has a wife and son to support, gave it up.
A lot of people thought I was kind of crazy. Obviously, you know, when every waking hour you have, you would sneak into a room and make math videos and put them on YouTube. People kind of question, you know, what's up.
Here's what's up. Khan's YouTube videos.
Let's do a couple more examples, and I think you might get it.
They've been clicked on more than 9 million times from users around the world. The topics range from math to chemistry to economics.
From every curriculum, they can use the videos. He's really helpful.
One of his users, 19-year-old college sophomore Sarah Shadid in Dubai. She says the videos made all the difference in helping her conquer calculus.
Before each and every exam, like I take 2 days checking all of his videos and understanding the small details he explains.
This gigantic virtual school originates from the smallest of places, from a tiny converted closet inside Saul's master bedroom. This is where he's able to reach an estimated 80,000 knowledge-seeking users a month.
It all started a few years ago when a cousin wanted some online math tutoring. Pretty soon, other relatives started asking for similar help. Suddenly, people he didn't know started watching.
People must have put in math terms, and suddenly they find you.
Yeah, I think it's just completely, you know, it's that small subset of people who go to YouTube and do a web search for greatest common divisor.
People did it, and it caught on. It's now called the Khan Academy. The videos are short and simply produced. Only his voice.
So that's your slope of the
with a simple black background and graphics.
There are a lot of people who need help with you know, math, science, whatever, and I think they find these YouTube videos as kind of the ideal nuggets to fill in their gaps.
These mini classes filled in Sarah Shadid's gaps, who says she and her friends refer to Khan as the man with the colored fonts. Whatever you call him or his teachings, the success of his site has validated that decision to walk away from hedge funds. Dan Simon, CNN, San Francisco.
I'm Pauline Chu in Hong Kong, where prime office space comes at a premium. In fact, it's the most expensive in the world. The average rental price for office space like this is about $161.14 a square foot. So what does your dollar give you? Well, you've got a great view of Hong Kong's Victoria Harbor. Now, this kind of office space is called Class A Prime. And what that means is office space in a centralized location. Usually the building has a contemporary design and there's on-site parking. So what's the reason behind Hong Kong's gradual rise in office rental prices? Supply and demand. One expert says financial institutions are returning to Hong Kong and new hedge funds are popping up, so they're looking for office space. And then there's the supply. That same expert also says new building stock like this will be pretty limited for the next 2 to 3 years.
We are on the 40th floor of 11 Times Square. It's a brand new building right in the heart of Midtown Manhattan. And we're with Steve Siegel, who's the head of global brokerage at CB Richard Ellis. Steve, thanks for being with us. What is a space like this going for right now?
Well, its price varies from the bottom of the building to the top. And we have a tenant pending from 17 to 31. So I would suggest that everything above 31 will probably be asking somewhere around $115 per square foot. We'll probably settle for something less than that, but not substantially less.
Where are those prices compared to where we were at the peak?
I would say we're probably, generally speaking, we're down somewhere between 25 and 30% and moving back up, moving in the right direction.
We hear so many people talking about commercial real estate, all the problems still spiraling, that it's really the next shoe to drop. We haven't addressed all the problems in commercial real estate. Are you feeling like that, or do you think that we have seen some healing and the worst is over?
I see some healing. I'm much more optimistic for a variety of reasons. The resilience of this city in particular and this country as a whole. We are aware of a number of companies expanding or planning to in New York City now. We see a lot of leasing activity, so there's a tremendous amount of positive thinking out there.
I'm Jim Bolden, 20 floors above the financial heart of the City of London, where you can see iconic buildings like the so-called Gherkin, but you can also see holes in the ground where some construction has started, including this, the so-called Pinnacle, Rumors are there's enough financing to get this building underway, but behind it you'll see another hole in the ground where the plans for that building, the so-called cheese grater, are still on the shelf. Prime real estate is going for around $65 per square foot, some 14% below this time last year.
I think the reason there have been a lot of deals in the last 2 quarters is because people have been actually deciding that this is actually a good time to take space, a good time to take flexible space, have lease breaks at 5 and 10 years, have long rent-free periods, have relatively low overheads.
But despite the cranes dotting the skyline here, the truth is there's very little new development planned, which means in the next few years, prime real estate prices could skyrocket. Jim Bolton, CNN, London.
The state of office space in Tokyo. That's a lot of empty space. I'm Kyung La in Tokyo, and this city is now seeing a record vacancy when it comes to office space. As far as rental price for a commercial office space, it is $21.76 for a square foot. That is a square foot. And if you want to purchase commercial office space, it will cost you $474.12 per square foot. That is the world's second most expensive as far as purchasing office space. But for Tokyo, that is a record low since the 1970s.
Certainly the crash in demand was driven by global markets and how Japan was impacted by that. And when people did decide to restructure, they either reduced their footprint in Japan or in some cases they relocated from Japan.
Colliers believes that the price of real estate, both renting and price, will improve by the end of the year because the economy here in Japan is starting to pick up.